This week, we are in the beautiful Yosemite National Park, one of America's oldest, most iconic and breathtaking national parks.
This UNESCO World Heritage Site covers over 1,200 square miles of the Sierra Nevada mountains in California.
And in this video, we're going to be showing you the top 5 things to do in Yosemite National Park. Now, Yosemite attracts over 4 million visitors every year, with the majority coming in the summer months.
So for this reason, you need to make sure that you properly plan your trip, but fear not, because we'll also be including our top travel tips to make sure you have a smooth and enjoyable time when you're in Yosemite.
But before we get into our top things to do here, the most important thing you need to know is that you may need a permit to enter the park. Now, this depends on what time of year you're coming, mainly in the peak periods, and it can be competitive. So just head on over to recreation.gov and you'll find all the information you need on there.
So with your entry to Yosemite National Park sorted, we're now going to take you to the first on our list, which is hiking the Yosemite Trails.
Let's go.
Let's do it. As a couple of avid hikers, in case the gear doesn't show it, we couldn't miss an opportunity to get on the stunning hiking trails here at the Yosemite National Park.
We were lucky enough to get permits to hike Half Dome, which is arguably one of the most famous but challenging hikes here in Yosemite National Park.
It's a 13-kilometer hike one way, or 26 kilometers all up, with a 4,800-foot elevation gain that usually takes hikers between 10 to 12 hours to complete.
So look at two people facing off against the actual Half Dome ascent. Just a casual 9 a.m. on a Tuesday morning.
Permits are issued through a lottery system to help manage traffic and maintain safety on the trail. There are poles and cables to help you make it up, but we highly recommend getting yourself a pair of gloves for better grip. Now, as we started the ascent, Maddy didn't feel too comfortable, so she decided to turn around safely, and I continued.
Slow and steady. And they also say try to avoid looking at the views too much if you're scared of heights, but I've got to be honest, that is pretty epic.
And shortly after, I was rewarded with a phenomenal view at the top.
And there we have it, Half Dome. If the weather is on your side and the conditions are great, and you don't mind a climb that, can push you on your edge, then this is an absolute must-do if you're in the Yosemite National Park. But you know what? If it's not your cup of tea, that's so okay. Maddy decided, she made the call that you didn't feel comfortable climbing and made the decision to come back, which even getting to Subdome, just that point down there, is a spectacular achievement. See where your comfort zone is, and either way, you'll have an extraordinary journey. If you're ever unsure on which hiking trail is right for you and where you're currently at, you can always head to the Yosemite Village Welcome Center with really wonderful staff there will help point you in the right direction.
Now, some general tips for any hikes that you do here in Yosemite Park is to always stay on the trails, and that's because you don't want to damage the vegetation outside of the trails, and don't go close to the edge where you may be at risk of falling.
Number 2 is to make sure that you pack out what you pack in. Best way to approach that is to make sure that you've got a garbage bag with you, and so that anything, any rubbish, any scraps, if it comes from something that you brought, you make sure you bring it out of the parks and you put it in the trash can.
And lastly, always be prepared. Know the weather, know your fitness level, bring plenty of water and a first aid kit.
After a couple of long and tiring days on foot, making it up to Half Dome, as you can see behind us, we're taking it a little bit easier by showing you the next item on our list.
And that is exploring the heart of the national park, which is Yosemite Valley. It's known for its dramatic cliffs and lush meadows.
And it's also home to Yosemite Village, where you'll find all of your amenities, general stores, information center, and accommodation.
Okay, so we are here in the village. We're just going to pick up a few picnic supplies and have a look at the shops before we head off into the valley.
So we've now stocked up on all of our goodies, and we're going to be heading to El Capitan for a very scenic and spectacular picnic. Worth noting, there are a couple of ways you can get around Yosemite Valley. Number 1, you can bring your own private car. Number 2, you can take any of the free shuttles across all locations. Number 3, you can get around on foot. Or number 4, you can opt for a bike, and that's what we've decided to go for. You can bring your own bike in, you can either rent one, or you can make use of Yosemite's rideshare program to use bikes for up to 2 hours. Here are 3 reasons why we recommend you get a bike when you're getting around Yosemite Valley.
Number 1, don't have to deal with the parking, which can definitely be an issue in the peak periods.
Number 2, it's an eco-friendly and active option of getting around and lets you stop and take in the surroundings in your own time.
And lastly, there are so many beautiful dedicated bike and walking paths that you can take to explore the valley.
We'll see you at lunch.
Now, a must while visiting Yosemite Valley is to see this amazing rock formation, which is known as El Capitan. It's a 3,000-foot vertical rock formation, which is well known in the climbing community. We have been lucky enough to be able to spot some climbers while sitting here having our lunch.
So if the sight or the sound of El Capitan sounds familiar, it's because you may have caught the 2017 documentary Free Solo, in which Alex Honnold was the first to ever successfully climb El Capitan without climbing gear, a feat that has never been seen in the world before. After admiring and absorbing the spectacle that is El Capitan, we are going to bring it to a close and get moving to our next item on the list.
And that is another large spectacle. It is the largest sequoia grove in the national park, and that is Mariposa Grove. So we've just made it to the Welcome Plaza at Mariposa Grove. We're going to hop on the free shuttle. It takes 7 minutes to get there, and one comes every 15 to 20 minutes.
So here you'll find giant sequoia trees which can live for over 2,000 years, and the trunks can reach over 25 feet in width, or about 7 meters.
Standing behind me is the oldest sequoia tree in the park, known as the grizzly giant. The grizzly giant is estimated to be around 3,000 years old. It stands at around 64 meters tall and 8.5 meters in diameter, making it the 25th largest tree in the world.
All right, we've sighted our first grizzly, but it's not a grizzly bear. The grizzly giant was pretty epic though, wasn't it?
It was,
Yeah.
it was.
What else are you loving about Yosemite Park so far?
I'm amazed at just how diverse like the ecosystems are. We've seen, huge granite cliffs,
Yeah.
sequoia groves, lush alpine meadows. It's amazing. Where are we off to next?
We are actually off to another icon of Yosemite National Park it's well known for, which is its waterfalls.
But we're not here at the most ideal time to catch the waterfalls, as it's early autumn and most of the snow has already melted.
So fingers are crossed we
Yep.
may see something, even just a little splash
Yeah.
going down, but if not, I'm sure there's a few others we can get to. Awesome, see you there.
Right. Yosemite National Park is known for its waterfalls. It's actually home to the highest waterfall in North America, coming in at 740 meters.
The best time to see it is in spring and early summer, when the snow melt is at its peak.
But we are here in early autumn, which is not the most ideal time to see the falls, as you can see by the lack of water behind me. However, you should keep this in mind if you do want to come to Yosemite to see the falls at their peak.
Maddie, what's that?
There's some deer.
Oh, get out.
They're looking at us.
How they followed us all the way. Making a break. We're not going to leave you high and dry like the Yosemite Falls. So if you do want to catch some falls, you can see Bridal Veil, Vernal, and Nevada Falls, which are all year round waterfalls. And to finish our wonderful week here at Yosemite National Park, we couldn't do it without catching a sunset at the most photographed and iconic viewpoint, Tunnel View.
Now, it only took us about a 20-minute drive to get here from Yosemite Valley, and make sure you pack some warm clothes as it can get chilly, especially when the sun drops. It's a spectacular spot to come, either just after a clearing storm or at sunset, and it really captures the immensity of the granite walls that surround Yosemite National Park.
It provides that classic panoramic view of the key Yosemite icons, including Bridal Veil Falls, El Capitan, and Half Dome.
Key travel tip is to try and get here between 4 and 6 o'clock, or just buffer in a little bit of time before sunset is dropping at the time of the year that you're here. You get rewarded with a front row seat, possibly the best in the house. As you can see, where we've pulled up, and we're going to be enjoying the sunset over this incredible valley.
And that sadly brings us to the end of a wonderful week here at Yosemite National Park.
It has been truly incredible. I don't think our photos or videos could ever do this place justice.
Which is why we're so excited for you to experience it in person yourself.
Let us know in the comments what you're most looking forward to, or if you have been, tell us your favorite place in Yosemite.
I'm Daniel,
And I'm Maddie.
and we'll see you in the next one. Catch ya.